One of my earliest musical memories is actually I was at my great-grandmother's house in Knoxville, Iowa. And it was, shockingly enough, it was Jim Reeves. It was, it was sitting in my great-grandmother's living room. And I think I was about 7 or 8. I was really bummed that I was there because there was nothing to do. It was, I mean, there was stuff to do during the day, because the old Horn farmstead kind of sat on like a few acres of land, and there was a bunch of stuff. There was woods, there was streams, there was this old abandoned train bridge that you could kind of go and hang out and break stuff around or whatever, just normal kid stuff. But at night, you weren't allowed to go outside because it was pitch black and there were still cars coming up and down the gravel road. So I was just kind of sitting there, really just bummed that I couldn't just be, expending energy. And my great-grandmother was cooking, and she turned on the radio, and it was an older country station. And it was Jim Reeves, and I can't even tell you which song it was, but just the way that his voice sounded, it captured my attention right away. And I was like, what? Whoa. And it just kept going and going and going, and his voice was so strong, and then it led to more songs with like old Loretta Lynn, Patsy Cline. I mean, it was a like a 50s and 60s kind of country station. So it was a good dose of what the Grand Ole Opry was supplying at the time. The first time I really realized that I wanted to make music was I was raking leaves in my grandmother's lawn, and I'd come back inside and I'd sat down and my grandma was playing Elvis 8 tracks. And for some reason, the song In the Ghetto came on. And I mean, there was something so profoundly still about that song, because that song is all about peaks and valleys, and it's telling this story. And as a kid, you want stuff to tell you a story. And this was a story I'd never heard before. And I reacted so poignantly to that I went over to the 8-track machine and I just kept hitting repeat, 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 and you'd get that brilliant 8-track click that only people who listened to 8 tracks could, and you never knew at what point in the song it was going to come back in, that thing. And I would just keep listening to it and listening to it until I'd memorized it. And that was the first song that I memorized as a kid. And it was too low for me to sing, so I sang it an octave above. And that's when I realized that I had an ear for it. And ever since then, I've learned everything musically by ear. I taught myself how to play guitar by ear. I learned like vocal, I guess riffing is the only thing you can really call it, by ear. Bass, tuba. When I was in school, I learned how to play tuba by ear, and just everything else.